Hello, everyone. I wanted to showcase what the dashboards look like when you participate in our crisis management study. This, of course, is the 10th edition. So just as a sampling, the 11th edition is currently live. And we're asking for respondents by the 23rd. So that's this Friday. So time is running out. Tick tock, tick tock. What I want to show is a response from someone who's in the insurance industry. As you can see, I blocked out everything, but this was a particular example where someone did opt in for the benchmarking discussion to compare their results in similar to their peer group, which this is the insurance industry dashboard from the last year 10th edition crisis management study. So the benefit here is it's data to help understand how your crisis management pre-planning, how your program enhancements compare to your peer group. And if you do opt in for the benchmarking call, you have the opportunity to have such a discussion and your study response to be corresponding to your peer group. So here you can see the length of the existence for business continuity, crisis management, crisis communications, cybersecurity, disaster recovery, IT security, pandemic planning, as well as supply chain resiliency. And what we did here is we marked up this person's response based on how they compared to their peer group within the insurance industry. Yellow is meaning that they're on target with their peer group, in line with their peer group. Red means that they're falling behind in comparison to their peer group. And green means that they're exceeding their peer group. So here you can see most of the response. Again, this is insurance. It does definitely change based on your industry sector, which is why this data is so amazing to get, not just getting the complimentary report, but getting a customized dashboard to your by industry or by size of organization. So here you can see that their business continuity program, as well as their crisis management program, has been in existence with or without their involvement for about 15 to 20 years. Again, it's all color coded based on if they're in line with their peer group or falling behind. If we continue to go down, then we see pre-event planning. So which of the following does the scope of your program address? Again, red means that they're falling behind their peer group. Yellow means that they're in line with their peer group. And green designates that they're exceeding. So as you can see, workplace violence, only 41% of insurance industry respondents address workplace violence within their program. So obviously this is where they exceed, where most of the things are in line with their peer group. And again, this does change based on industry. Again, continuing with the pre-planning section, what you use for communication methods that are utilized throughout an event. So here you can see a lot of in line with their peer group. And then if they're like satellite phone and dedicated conference lines aren't really utilized too much. So they're in line with their peer group as well. Are your plans accessible in a mobile format? Here, yes, both iOS and Android is very much in line. Based on your preparedness efforts, have you prevented a disruption in the past? Yes, which is the majority of the respondents. As we go down, then we understand what are you most concerned about as far as potential events. So here we have most concerned about. You can see that that's very much in line with our respondent category, the industry. And how prepared is their organization? So this is great because it does, when you do take the study based on whatever you select for the events or crises that you're most concerned about, those events will auto-populate into, okay, well, how prepared are you for those different events? Here you can see that this particular respondent is very much prepared, even though they're very concerned about those events. It could be because of the likelihood of those occurring, but they do feel relatively prepared. So here you can see here if they're prepared, extremely prepared. As we continue to go down, we then get into how would you rate your organization's appetite for risk and acceptance? Again, this respondent is very much aligned with their industry response, so it's very good to see. Here's a really interesting category. Rank the main challenges associated with defined corporate level crisis management teams. This is a great way to understand how you compare to your peer group. But not only that, it helps you kind of build a roadmap to understand how to improve your crisis management team as well. So even though this particular response and this study is put into one question, within the dashboard, it's broken into many different data charts. So here, clarity on when a crisis management team is notified and activated. Here you can see little challenge that does correspond with their peer group. Again, during a crisis management meeting, there's no chief of staff like member. So again, these are challenges that organizations potentially meet or face during a crisis or pre-planning. So it gives you a great way to understand. Again, yellow is in line, red is where you're falling behind with your peer group, and this information definitely changes based on the industry sector. Then we get into, did you experience an event, crisis, or incident in the last year that you had an employee response recovery team? That's where we fall into this particular data chart or this dashboard that all the respondents get. And this highlights the top 10 crises events that impacted organizations in the last year. So this is great, a great way to understand not only what events impacted different organizations, but their frequency of each event, the level of response, if it was a pre-alert, notification, full activated, was there any advance warning for each of the different events? What was activated during the event? Was it business recovery, call center recovery, emergency operations center? Then we scroll down and we get into the percent of employees negatively impacted per the event, displaced, placed at a recovery site. What was the scale of the impact? Was it one business department or a regional or global? What was the impact of the organization, customer service, facilities, financial, investor community trust? And as we continue to scroll down, executive involvement for the most significant event in each category, length of business resumption for the most significant event, critical systems impacted, financial loss, what was included on your team or utilized while responding to a crisis, and then noted outcomes as a result. So did you have minimal impact to customers, minimal impact to employees or operations? And then we get into the most beneficial attributes during a crisis. And then we skip back over, and this is something that we can go through during a benchmarking call. But then we get into looking at how are organizations evolving their resiliency strategies in the new year. So if we continue to go down this dashboard, this response, we can see how they compare to their peer group. So here you can see that executive engagement is in line, that's increasing in the new year. Program integration with other risk disciplines was kind of falling behind their peer group. Supply chain resiliency was falling behind their peer group. Program automation was falling behind their peer group. What about investment strategies? Here, there's a little bit more green with increasing permanent staff, emergency notification systems, consulting with business focus. So again, great information. And this is something that is completely complementary. When you participate in the study, we just need your personal email so we know where to send this dashboard. You get two. You get the event planning and program enhancements that's by industry sector or by size of organization. And then everyone gets this, the top 10 crises and how those have impacted organizations. And then if you opt in for the benchmarking call, then you get your responses all color coded to understand how you are comparing to your peer group. So I hope that answers a lot of questions. Please feel free to message me if you have any additional questions. But as always, we're here to help. Thanks so much. Bye.